Welcome everybody to Starfield Signal. Let me get everything up here. Hey, we did it. We hit 10,000 subscribers. Almost. We're almost there. Not technically, but we will get there. How is everybody doing? Let me know in the chat. How is the audio sounding? Good levels? Everything look okay? Good to see everybody on here. We got quite a few people on here for what's today? Tuesday? A Tuesday morning. That is, gosh, it's crazy. How's everybody doing good? Hey, Merrick. Let's see. Hey, Sadman. Hey, Ian. Hey, Adam N. Good to see you guys on here. Toolman, F4 Wildcat. Good to see you. Talked with you a little bit this week. Tobert, good to see you on here, buddy. Lots of people on here. Poplar, Ponderosa, seen you around too. So great to have you on here. See Webbs, Dave, Outbreak Gamers. Awesome to see you on here as well. Hello, everybody. The jacket is pure Todd Howard. Yes. Yeah, my go-to joke is that I stole it from one of his green rooms, and that's why he did not have it on in the last video. Which that's a pretty good story. That might become like an urban legend or something. That would be awesome. Well, I got up this morning and saw that we were almost at 10,000 subscribers, so I thought we would do a little live stream and see if we can push it over the edge. I mean, if it doesn't happen, I'm not going to stay on here for hours on end. But I know people are working right now, or maybe people are chilling out and in different parts of the world as well. So it's good. Yeah, Torio, we're going to talk about the rating as well. That's not a big news piece. I didn't want to make like a whole live stream or a whole video about that, but we'll definitely talk about it today. So I've tried my best to learn how to stream better, and so you'll probably notice a few aesthetic changes. We are using a different program today. I got some themes, some space themes. So do you guys like this? Is this a little bit better than just kind of a standard just camera angle? Got a chat box and a what is that called? An alert box as well. Does it look okay? You can't give thumbs up or thumbs down, but let me know in the chat how you guys are liking that. I'm going to get this pulled up as well so I can kind of track with everybody. Here we go. Awesome. Hello. We need Todd Howard leather jacket mod for the game so you can take his story to space. Yes. That would be a great modded like side quest or something. Like you have to go and steal back a leather jacket from an NPC or something like that. That'd be great. Hey, dug up your interview on the Star Map developer. Fascinating stuff. Almost don't want to dig into it too much, though. Might spoil some locations. Yeah. I'm kind of... I don't understand... If you are really sensitive to spoilers, and that's not a bad thing, but if you don't want to know much about the game other than kind of like official, released advertisements and marketing beats, then... I would probably stay away from most of our content moving forward. And it's not that I know anything that you don't know, but we're definitely going to be talking about a little bit of everything. And so if that's something that you kind of want to protect for your own experience in the game, then yeah, maybe stay clear of social media and YouTube or anything Starfield specific. But once the game comes out and we start playing, I will definitely be more sensitive and I'll try to make it clearer whenever I'm talking about whether it's story spoilers or gameplay spoilers or location spoilers. I'll try my best. I'm kind of new to that area. So what isn't really a spoiler to me might be a spoiler to you. But anyway, we will try. Adam N. said, is there a Discord server yet? There is technically. We're not really talking about it or launching it yet. Actually, this is something I wanted to mention today, but there have been a lot of you guys that have been helping us here on the channel. And this is, man, it's taken a village to kind of build this channel and to make it, to make it go and to build it up. and I'm just so excited to like be working and collaborating with so many of you. So that said, one of you is helping me. Solomon is helping me get the Discord server together. He has been terrific. He's been so patient with me, kind of walking me through how to set it up, how to use bots, and how to set up roles and announcements and events and all this stuff. And we're going to try to keep that simple. I put the poll out yesterday. Let me bring that poll up here because it was kind of interesting. Let's see. And I am not seeing. That's really interesting. So you guys tell me in the video that you're watching. Well, I got mine up here on my phone. So I'm not seeing the chat come up, like the chat box is broken somehow. It's coming up in the YouTube, but it's not in the YouTube interface, but it's not coming up. Right, Nikki, thank you. Interesting. So sorry about that. I was testing this out. I tested this out all day yesterday. I worked on the Streamlabs stuff all day on yesterday, and that's really interesting. I wonder why. That may have to be something we figure out at a different time. I apologize about that. But if you can still have chat access, great. Really, that's for like cross-platform chat. And so like if I'm doing something on Twitch or YouTube or something else, then it all kind of integrates into that on-screen chat box. So that's a great thing. And let's see, are the alerts coming up as well? This is very, very strange. Let's see. I'm going to make a quick transition here and kind of reload this. And yeah, I know. Yeah. Hey, hopefully, all technical difficulties are my game for sure. The Crimson Fleet are blocking check. Absolutely. And so let me just test something out here. See, Claire. Is that coming up for you guys, that alert? There it goes. Okay. So the alerts are working, just the chat is not working. Okay. Sweet. So what was I talking about? So yes, Discord, we do have that coming up. You could search for it right now and get on it. I'm not giving it a lot of attention right now. I want to build some content for this week and get that out for you guys. But I plan to kind of work on some of the roles and some of the announcements and welcomes and all that stuff. So we will kind of make an official launch sooner. But I think what I was saying, we want to try to keep Discord simple. We're not going to build this crazy server where there's tons of automation and games and other things to do. We're going to keep it pretty simple, like, one chat room, kind of a general chat room. We're probably going to make a few specific, like, Starship build specific chat rooms. And I'm saying chat rooms, that's probably not even the right terminology. Channels. A channel for shipbuilding, a channel for outpost building, just for people to kind of share their experience and share what their ideas and kind of what they've done. So that's kind of what we're hoping for. Keep it really simple, and then this will also be a part. Discord will probably be the place where we host the members only live chat. And that's kind of for the Patreon memberships and the YouTube memberships that will officially launch a little bit later. I'll probably talk about that as kind of like a soft launch a little bit later in the stream. But okay, great. But I won't give you the hard sell yet. But if you're interested in that, those things are live. I'll throw some links up in the chat a little bit later. Yeah, super excited. Okay, hey, we're rolling on. We got 9,976 subscribers so far. Let me go ahead and transition that. All right, of course. And I'm going to mess with my camera. Just a second. You guys are awesome. Okay. And then transition. I feel like a kid, like learning how to do all this stuff again. So, so I have our screen. Hopefully, no audio is looping now. uh, yeah. Very cool. Oh, hey, and I just got a notification that our YouTube membership perks have been approved. So that's great. So we will do a little bit of a soft launch later. I'm going to adjust my camera real quick. There we go. And several of you will be happy to know that you all are so patient with me with the live streams. Be happy to know that I learned how to quick mute my microphone so I can cough or sneeze or whatever. And as long as I hit that button, now you can hear me. So a lot easier now. I'm learning. I'm growing. I'm just like AI. It's fabulous. So let me get into a little bit of the news that someone mentioned earlier. Really, the only news we've had about Starfield in a minute. But I'm going to bring this up here. Not that one. Here we go. Yeah. So the Australian Classification Board, they went ahead and rated or classified Starfield as R18 plus, so this is restrictive. And the big, not hang up, but the big thing that gave it that R18 plus rating was the drug use. And as most of us have seen, okay, so this will kind of be spoilers. Again, if you're sensitive to spoilers, maybe pause it for a few minutes and come back. But this is because of the drug Aurora, as we've known, or we're assuming as much in a lot of the videos. In a lot of the videos that we've seen, the official videos that Bethesda's put out, they talk about Neon, right? They talk about Neon and the corporation there that had a fishing organization. They found a way to make a drug, Aurora, out of the fish there. And so this is kind of Starfield's take on skooma in the Elder Scrolls, right? But from what we know, and I may be using the wrong term here, but Aurora is somewhat of it's a psychotropic drug. So it probably will have some gameplay mechanics to it in some sense, whether that makes you stronger or increases your awareness or increases some stat levels for a certain amount of time. We don't exactly know yet, but it is considered drug use by the Australian Rating Agency. The ESRB will most likely, and the PEGI will probably most likely, not necessarily follow suit, but they will probably give similar ratings, probably M for ESRB and PEGI 18, I believe. So, and that's no surprise to us, right? You know, that's no surprise. I think most Bethesda games, let's see, Skyrim, Skyrim's rating is M, right? Let's see, what is it rated? Okay, let me see, ESRB rating, here we go. Yeah, mature rating, PEGI, let's see. PEGI rating is PEGI 18, yeah. So no surprise there. But that's the reason. And so kind of going down here, this classification. So themes, they gave it a moderate impact. We'll look at the difference in these ratings here in just a minute. But it gave it a moderate impact. And violence gave it a strong impact. Language, moderate. Nudity, very mild impact. We'll come back and talk about that later. And of course, the big joke that was kind of going around the different parts of the internet was sex, none. Everybody was upset that couldn't have sex. And then, of course, drug use is the high impact that gave it that R18 plus restricted. I came back. I clicked on this button right here. You can go to here too. I'm on classification.gov.au right now. This is the official ratings classification board for Australia, so I didn't just go to all kinds of really weird news sites covering this news, so I wanted to go right to the source. But you can click on this button that says, what do these ratings mean? And it takes you exactly here. It's not extremely, it's not really thorough. It's kind of what you could assume. That's what they wrote here. But G for general, kind of a general classification, suitable for everyone. PG, parental guidance, we're kind of familiar with that from TV and from movies. M is for mature. Content is moderate impact, but not recommended for children under the age of 15. This would be closer to, if you live in the United States, so this would be closer to our movie rating of PG-13. And then, or maybe even like a light T for teen for video games. And then the next one, mature accompanied. I would probably say that some of our T games kind of fall into this, the MA 15 plus. That's, it's kind of stronger content, legally restricted to people that are over the age of 15, but not yet 18. Contains elements such as sex scenes, and drug use that could have strong impact on the viewer. I would imagine those sex scenes are like non-revealing sex scenes, maybe like what a PG-13 movie sex scene might look like. And then, of course, the R18 plus, which is a more traditional maybe R rating or mature rating that people in the States are used to. And then they, of course, have a restricted X18 plus, which is more along the lines of like A for adult or an X-rated film in the States. So those are just some good kind of context to why they would rate these different categories in this way. And so for themes, it says moderate impact. I would just guess, these are kind of my guesses, my take on it, that Starfield's going to deal with some of the similar themes that Fallout and the Elder Scrolls have dealt with before. Racism is always kind of a big theme that they take on, and I think honestly, it's they always have an interesting take on it, and it's never been so obvious or so like wow, I can't believe they did that. I don't feel like they're like Rockstar with GTA or maybe some other games that try to be in your face about it to kind of get a reaction, but it's more of kind of a commentary on this theme. And so I expect that. Violence, we all expect violence, right? And there's also been a lot of debate or conversation on if there will be blood in the game. Lots of people said they've seen blood, blood splatter in the gameplay whenever somebody gets shot. Sarcastic, my leather jacket is not safe for work. Thank you, I think. And then, of course, language, so moderate impact. I'm honestly really happy about this. I use mostly clean language just in my everyday life. That's just kind of a choice and a value that I have, but no judgment on people who choose to use stronger or stronger language for any reason. But usually, Bethesda games don't try to, again, they're not like a GTA or trying to really push the envelope when it comes to that. So it sounds like there will probably be a little bit of language, but nothing too crazy. Drug use, of course, we already talked about that. This was interesting. So for the sex, down at the very bottom, nothing, which I'm glad about. I'm all about relationships and companions and all that, but I think that kind of would have been out of place in a Bethesda game, as opposed to maybe something more character driven, like a Mass Effect or a Dragon Age or something like that. It's your characters are kind of moving the story forward for you. But nudity, very mild impact. I imagine, this is my guess, I imagine this is probably because you can see characters in their undergarments, in their underwear, right? So whenever you strip the clothes off of an NPC after you've killed them, or if they're dead or whatever, you'll just see them in their underwear. And that's pretty mild, right? Or even your own characters, you're kind of building them or dressing them up. So I don't think this will be anything like Cyberpunk's very detailed character models. So I think it'll be not so controversial there. And so I'll kind of see what do you guys think in the chat? What do you guys think about these ratings? You feel, hey, this is fair? Do you feel like they're being too restrictive for any Aussies in the chat or on the channel? I know there's a few of us, or a few of you What do you think about this? Are you upset about it, or is this expected, or how are you feeling? Let's see. No sex. It really sucks. We don't get more games aimed at adults. Sure, but like we talked about with the themes and language and violence, I think there's plenty of adult gameplay to go around. Never should have come here. They've never been preachy. Absolutely, yeah. Bethesda's pretty good at that. Hello from Germany. Hello, Cian. CK-Man, H-O. Does the Australia rating organization know what we know as far as details to rating of things in game, or do they have insider info as to rating it as much? Usually, the way I understand it, that's a great question. Usually, the way I understand it is these rating agencies, they will get a report from the developer or from the publisher, and then they're kind of a little bit on the honor system. I'm pretty sure there are consequences if there are outright lies or they don't disclose certain things. And then I do believe, I don't know if they get an actual playable demo, or if they're able to play through something, or if it's just a report that they're sent. I don't know. If anyone else knows that, let me know. But I don't think they have any kind of insider information, other than maybe some vertical slices of the game that we haven't seen, which you could consider that insider. Let's see. Let me go back up here. No three-breasted alien women in Starfield, folks. Yeah. See, what movie was that on? Total Recall. Total Recall with Arnold had one of those. That was fun. All right, let's see. Only Discord requests. Please include Todd Howard emoji options. Okay, we'll work on that. We will work on that. Yes. Okay, let's see. Where are we now? Let me go back to here. Refresh. This should refresh automatically. All right, we're at 99.78. We're getting there, folks. We're getting there. Thank you all for being here on the stream. Let's come back down now and see. Any idea if there will be a level scaling in the game? For example, if each star system a particular level, or can you explore everywhere at any level? And hello from Brazil. So from what Todd Howard said in his Lex Friedman interview, back in, when did that come out, guys? October, November of last year? He did mention that there will be levels attached to each star system. In that, I believe he clarified that these will be, I don't think he used the term difficulty, but these will be difficulty levels. And so I imagine that there will be a few game mechanics to kind of balance and pace out your journey. So it wouldn't necessarily be like Skyrim, where hey, you get out of the cave, out of that first town you're in when the dragon attacks, and then you can go anywhere immediately if you want to. I don't think it'll be like that. I think they'll restrict you in your space travel, right? But with your jump distance for the jump drive. We talked about that on the interview that we released on Sunday with Sebastian. Awesome interview. If you haven't seen that video, please go check it out. Just to support Sebastian, see what he's doing with Starfield Navigator. And then I also think they should balance that mechanic out to kind of line up with your leveling. And so I don't know if there will be a specific, like a hard cutoff, like, hey, your ship is built to where you can make it here, but you're not level 50 yet, so you can't come. I doubt that they will put like a fabricated gate there. But I think through the gameplay mechanics, they'll kind of pace out your journey. So from the jump distance, just getting there on your ship, to even if you can make it there, well, have you got to the part in the game yet where you can make your spacesuit immune to the gases that are in its atmosphere, that are in that planet's atmosphere, or the poison enemies that are there? Are you gonna land and then just totally get get pwned by these alien species because you don't have the right protective wear. So that's what I imagine. We'll see. Great question. Hello from Brazil. Can't imagine. Let's see. I just found you on Twitch. Hey, awesome. Nice to see you here, Brent. I got on Twitch a little bit yesterday and found an awesome Russian streamer, and I cannot remember his name right now, but he said hello to me in the chat and was so kind to even speak a little English to me. And so I am always, all of my international viewers, thank you so much for chatting in English and commenting in English. I know that's probably a very common thing and you don't think a thing about it, but I don't want it to go unnoticed or unappreciated, so I thank you for it. I'm your first Twitch follower. Oh, great. So cool, Brent. Yes, I do plan to stream on Twitch. And I'm excited. I'm probably going to start before Starfield actually releases. I'll probably start with some Skyrim, maybe a little bit of Elite Dangerous, maybe some No Man's Sky. I'm unsure yet, but I want to try it a little bit before the game comes out, because just like live streaming, I mean, this is, I think, my fourth one, and so I get a little bit better at it every time I do it. Still not great yet. But I'm going to need that experience. I'm going to need the failures. I'm going to need the L's to kind of learn from. That's how I learn. I learn from doing, and I learn from messing up, and then I try to solve the problem, and then get better and be better. So thank you so much, Brent. I appreciate your being my first Twitch follower. That is very cool. Crimson Crew said level caps feel very Ubisoft-like, so I don't see Bethesda going there. Yeah, sure. I agree. I think that was kind of what, piggybacking off what I was saying earlier. Jazz Rock Fusion, will reviewers actually be able to see all or even most of what the game will have on offer? So thank you so much, Jumping Lobster, for the congratulations on the 10K. Jazz Rock, Bethesda, a few years ago, they changed Bethesda Publishing. They changed their review policy to be fairly restrictive, and it was kind of surprising because, yeah, I mean, they make great games. They really do. I mean, even the Bethesda game software stuff that, it's a little buggy, people love it. So I'm unsure of why they did that, but I think it was right around the time that maybe Doom released. It was, so they changed their policy to be reviewers would get a code the same day as release, which you're thinking like, okay, that doesn't really help a reviewer, right? Because, I mean, it helps them not have to buy the game, sure. That's a $70 gift to them. That's nice. But it doesn't really help them in reviewing it because their games are so huge. I mean, you could get a month, 2 months, 3 months of time with Starfield, and you wouldn't even scratch the surface relative to what the game has to offer. So I doubt we'll see a lot of reviewers, and to answer your question, I even if there are reviewers who get a code, it'll most likely be the same day or maybe a week before release. That's just going off of Bethesda's policy in the past. However, this is kind of a caveat. They do have preview events, and those press and those influencers who get invited to those, they do get a chance to write up or make videos or make some content from that. And so it's not exactly a review, it's more of a preview. And so with that, I would imagine those previews are still guided and kind of restrictive to, hey, you get to play the first 2 hours of this, or we're going to let you play the opening, and then we're going to give you, a mission to do on this planet or in this system, or, hey, we'll set you here in this star system, go wherever you want to go in the next 30 minutes. So I feel like it'll be, again, kind of relative to the size and the scope of Starfield, it will be pretty restrictive just because of the nature of it. So I hope that makes sense, and I hope I sound like I know what I'm talking about. All right, excited they compared the space combat to Mech Warrior. I love those games. After I did that video, I heard I have never heard of Mech Warrior, and I'm just sheltered. I didn't get into those games, or I was doing something else when those came out. I don't know, but lots of people were in the comments saying like, oh my gosh, that is the best news ever. And so it really made me curious. That may be one of those games that I come back to and stream if I can find it and if it's if it's available. Yeah, I'm excited about it too. I honestly was a little disappointed when I heard that in the interview. I made the video, and people in the comments kind of convinced me like, no, trust us. This is good news. This is good news. And I'm not great. I've only played a few games where he kept using the term twitchy dogfighter. I don't exactly know what that means, but I'm guessing just very fast-paced, quick turns. You kind of have to be very accurate in your shooting, and there's not much kind of AI or aim assist involved. And so I'm horrible at those games. And so if their way of doing it makes it more kind of methodical and a little slower pace and easier to handle, I'm all for that. I love that. And we're here in England. Appreciate you trying your best with your English too. Well played. Well played, Adam N. I have no comeback for that. Well played. Are you excited for... That really tickled me. Are you excited for Redfall, Zarcaster said. So I have not... I watched the little preview they did in the developer direct. I watched a story trailer that they released maybe a week or so ago. I've been so focused on Starfield, and so I haven't really let my heart wander too much to get excited about much else, if that makes sense. But I think it could be fun. I'm also not a huge multiplayer or group gamer, but when it comes out, if I can play it with my brother, or maybe stream it, or some of you guys want to get on and try it out together, that could be fun. Just kind of a community thing. So I'm excited for Bethesda just getting some wins, getting some wins out the door, oh shoot, who's the developer of that? Arcane. Arcane makes great games. Sometimes I kind of bounce off of them, but that, kind of like Fallout, I kind of bounce off of Fallout. That doesn't mean it's not a good game. It's just kind of not my taste. I tried Deathloop. Didn't really care for Deathloop. Again, I think that's just me, and that's just my preferences. Mechanically, it was great. It seemed like it had kind of an interesting story element to it. I guessed the story of it, just from the trailers and just from what people were talking. So I don't know what that says about me or about the game, but it seems really interesting, and I'm glad people who love it. But no, Redfall, it probably won't be for me, but I would love to get on there and play around if some of you guys were up for it. Sorry if this was asked already, that's okay. But is this channel your first foray in content creation? DB Cooper. DB, we found you. Give us the money back. This is definitely my first, I guess technically you could say this is my second attempt at it. My main gig is being a wedding videographer, a wedding filmmaker. And so I've been doing that for several years now, and I love it. I love connecting with brides and grooms on one of the happiest days of their lives. I'm really good at it too, and that's kind of a humble brag. But I love doing things I'm good at. I love pushing myself to get better, and and it's kind of the people side. You guys know I'm like a people person. I love relationships. I try to connect with everybody in the comments and be positive, and so that's a good fit for me. And so anyway, with wedding videography, I tried to do a little bit on kind of like the coaching side of things. I had another YouTube channel called Wedding Film Coach, and it was growing a little bit, but I just didn't quite have the time. At the time I was making that stuff to put a lot of effort into it, and so that kind of fell to the wayside. But now I'm doing this, and so this is really like the first time I've ever, really committed a lot of time and energy to it, and I'm having a blast. You guys are awesome. We're at 9,982 subscribers in under 2 months. And that's not like, wow, look at how great I'm doing. That's like, I applaud you all, because you all are the ones building this community. And I honestly kind of hate using that word, because it's used in such like a buzzwordy kind of way. Oh, I want to build community. I feel like most people don't have a clue what they're talking about when they say that. But I really feel like we are building like a good place for people who want to be positive and who want to be excited about the game can like come and know that they're not going to get shouted out by people, with console war bullcrap, or people who are worried about, oh, well, it's 30 FPS or it's 60 FPS. Like, we're just all happy to be here, and we're happy we're getting a great game. And man, if that's like the least that I can do for the Starfield community, then I feel like that's a pretty awesome thing. And so I'm really happy to be here. Viking said, I'm curious to know if there will be transmog in Starfield. I have no idea. That's something I've never really gotten into in games before. So, but I don't know. What does everybody else think? Maybe that'll be a good community chat topic. Joe says, love your videos. What do you most want to see at the showcase in June? The big thing was the release date, right? And so we got that. I was so surprised. When Bethesda released that last video, and they not only gave us the showcase date, but they gave us the release date. And I was so surprised that I really wasn't even disappointed at first. And then the more I thought about it, I was a little disappointed it wasn't coming sooner, but then I was like, oh, I'm just happy that we got some information. So I forgot what you said. What do you want to see most in Showcase? I just want to see like I don't want to see as many like cut clips. I want to see like what's the flow? What's the loop? So getting a quest and gearing up, making a plan, if we have to change our spacesuit or put some, if we have to maybe like Mass Effect or something, we got to put some electric rounds in our in our guns, or do something to like, hey, we got to prepare for this specific mission. And then we go there in our starship. We see the starship getting into the planet, however that's going to work. We find the map marker wherever we need to go. We do the mission, a little bit of stealth action, preferably. And then, get the item or get the MacGuffin or get the artifact, and then bring it back and see what that does. Get the next mission, right? And I think, they could figure how to do that in 20 to 25 minutes. I don't think it has to be a huge thing, even a side quest. But that's, I think, the big thing that I would love to see. Like, what does this look like uncut? We've seen the sizzle reels. It's got us excited. You're good. Let's see some meat. That's what I want to see. Good question. Come back up here. While I'm optimistic about, let's see. Oh, I lost it again. So sorry. About the story of Starfield, I am pessimistic about the 1,000 unique planets to explore in the game. Thoughts one way or another? I mean, just being practical, sure, they're not all going to give you this like, oh my gosh kind of reaction. I mean, you're going to get used to it. But I mean, out of 1,000, I would love if even 100 of those were just places where nothing's going on, and we could just kind of go and explore and just look at it just for the joy of kind of looking around. This is, and I have a little bit of that like nature hunter blood in me. My dad's a big hunter. He texted me the other day, said, hey, I was walking around my farm and found 8 deer antlers on the ground, and like that was crazy exciting to him. And I have a little bit of that sense of like wonder, sense of exploration. Like, you're not disappointed if you don't find anything. It was just kind of the journey that you enjoyed, just taking a breath and enjoying it. So I hope that we do have some of those planets. It doesn't have to be chocked full of everything. A little bit of negative space, if you will. If you're an artist or a photographer or something, you kind of know about negative space, that it helps create context and helps create impact for the positive space, for the actual content, the meat of the game. So I think we'll have plenty to explore. I hope that they do some interesting and creative things with just the atmospheres. I hope we see a lot of volcanoes and just ash and lava spewing everywhere on one planet, and this planet's about to explode or erupt or something. I don't know. And then I hope we see those ice planets. I hope we see planets that are covered in gas and just really mysterious, and we have to get very special instruments or helmets or visors or something to even explore it. I think they can do a lot of really neat stuff with that. And then, of course, the modding community, right? Lots, kind of a blank canvas, if you will, for them to work. So I'm excited about it either way. I mean, if we get into it and there are only like 20 interesting planets, I would feel a little let down there. You know, it's like, man, you had all this, and you had 1,000 planets, and all you could come up with is 20. I would feel a little disappointed then, and like it was kind of incomplete. But I really doubt that's going to happen. But good question, Zach. Absolutely. Brent Young said, a wedding can be a very stressful time for some people. You have high speech attributes. Thank you. Yeah, I'm pretty, I have high adaptability rating, I guess. But it's fun. It's pretty fun. I love it. See, what to say? You have 3 followers on Twitch. Awesome. I'm going to have to get on there and do some content. I'm very excited. Are there many other, I know there's a few other kind of Starfield specific creators out there on YouTube and different platforms. Are there any others on Twitch right now that are kind of building communities? Let me know. And I don't say that as like a competitive thing. Like I would love to connect with them and just get some advice, because this will be my first foray into twitching. I don't know. Is twitching, twerking? I don't know. Is that a thing? All right. Let's see. We're at 9,982. Awesome. Awesome. Very, very excited. Let's see. I just missed something. Somebody started following me. Somebody started doing something. I missed it. I'm so sorry. Thank you, guys. I'm going to make this a little bit bigger here. Sorry. So I can see that. I put that alert box up there so that, man, I need to know when stuff is happening. I hope I haven't missed anything. Okay. All right, let's see. Coming back to the chat, thank you guys for being on here again. If you're just kind of now joining us, we're celebrating the 10K subscribers, and man, it's just been an awesome journey. It's been an awesome ride. I'm so glad that each and every one of you are here on the channel. For probably the first couple of weeks, I tried to reply to every single comment, and then you all are so awesome. You watched, you kept watching, you liked, you commented, so those videos spread to a lot of other people, and just kind of came flooded with views, with likes, with comments, and so I haven't been able to keep up with them as much as I would like to. Every now and then I'll have a couple hours, like on a Sunday afternoon or Monday morning when the girls are already in school. I have a couple beautiful little daughters, and I'll be able to sit down and kind of go through the comments. And most of the time I just try to say like, hey, thanks for watching. Glad to have you here. Hey, that's a great idea. Or if you guys have some great insights. Every now and then people have some really good insight that kind of breeds conversation. There's a whole line of comments underneath that, so I love those. Go back to the chat over here. I've been Bluthan. Am I saying that right, buddy? Bluthan. Hey, I've been a wedding video editor in the past. Oh, awesome. So are you doing that now? Are you doing that still? Bluthan, let me know in the comments. Are you worried about filling the coming months with content until the showcase? There might be no new information coming until then. Good question, Crimson Crew. I'm definitely not worried. I'm going to slow down with content a bit. You guys have kind of seen that in the last couple of weeks. One, I was traveling a couple of weeks ago and just couldn't make any content. Excuse me. And then, so this is kind of my theory. You guys tell me, no, that's crazy, or hey, that makes sense. But my theory is, there was a little bit of like tension. Think of a balloon. You're blowing it up, and the more air you put in there, it kind of becomes more and more tense, more and more tense, more and more tense. And so I feel like that was like the waiting on just any kind of news from Bethesda, any announcement from Bethesda. We weren't getting anything, and so as that anticipation built, frustration started to grow, and all that's like blowing up the balloon, blowing up the balloon, blowing up the balloon. They finally came out with a video, with the release date, with the showcase date, and said, hey, here's what you can expect. We'll see you then. I feel like that kind of deflated that balloon a little bit, and so there's not as much tension, there's not as much frustration, and so people aren't quite as hungry or as ravenous for content. Since that, I'm sure that'll build back up. And so that's one of the reasons also that I've kind of taken a step back. You know, I feel like people need a breath. They need a break. They need something else to think about instead of Starfield right now. So that's another reason I've taken a step back. Does that make sense, or is that crazy? What do you guys think? But to answer your question, I'll probably be putting out at least 1 to 2 videos a week before, you know, leading up to the showcase, maybe even going up to 3, you know, depending on if we get some screenshots or community comments or something like that. But I've already kind of planned out a bunch of stuff I want to talk about. Lore videos are the next thing. I'll talk about that here in a few minutes. Jazz Rock, yes, the positivity is appreciated. One of my favorite things about your channel and your approach. Thank you so much. I'm glad you're here. Transmog, see, yes, Viking answer. Transmog is when you change the appearance of your armor clothing. Right, yeah, that's the whole idea of it, Viking, is that you can make, you know, if you like the stats that one piece of armor gives you, but you don't necessarily like how it looks, but you like the look of another armor that doesn't really give you the great stats you're looking for, you can kind of take that, you take the cosmetics from one and put it on the armor that you want the stats for. And so it's honestly a great gameplay mechanic that kind of, you know, after people kind of get through the game and they just want to play around with it more and they like the way they look, it's great for them. See, No Man's Sky, despite the reception, has really turned around the sameness of the random assets used creating planet. So I will give Bethesda a chance at the same. Cool. Yeah, absolutely. I think it'll be good. Carlos said, are you going to be playing on Xbox or PC once Starfield comes out? I'm unsure. I think I will most likely start on PC if my PC can handle it, you know, to a good extent, because I'll definitely want to be like recording, maybe streaming, and so all that puts you know, pressure. That's not the right word. It takes a lot out of your computer. I'm not technical enough to know exactly how all that works, but so if my computer can handle it with some still decent graphics, then I'll probably just do it that way. If it wouldn't be able to do what I want to do with streaming and recording and all of that, I may get an Xbox. We'll have to see. But I definitely want to play on with a controller. I'm not a keyboard and mouse kind of guy. I'm just the worst. How about you guys? Who's keyboard and mouse here? Who's controller? Let me know in the comments. All right. As someone who loves space, I'm going to play Starfield mostly for the scenery. Very cool. Botany is going to be huge, like with the research and the crafting, I think so. As long as the balloon doesn't pop. That's right, Ariana. Ariana, good to see you on here. Glad you made it to the stream. Darren, hey, good to see you, man. He said, I agree. I think people have stepped back now. No point getting too excited when we have 6 months to go with the gap between the showcase. Yeah, I agree. Wait, is this him? Yes. Elitist, are you just now tuning in for your first stream? This is me. This is Starfield Signal. I'm Luke. Nice to meet you. I'm glad you stopped by. I hope you're not too disappointed in this face. I do have the leather jacket. That's what most people get excited about around here. Controller, sofa jockey. Yeah, me too. Keyboard and mouse all the way. Ariana, okay. And so does the keyboard and mouse, do you guys like that because of the extra precision that gives you with the mouse? Or do you like it because of all the different options you have on the keyboard as far as hotkeys and customization and all that? It's just so overwhelming to me. And I've never been able to like get that muscle memory with my fingers and the keyboard. Sorry, I'm sure saying fingers makes me sound very country. I apologize for that. It's one of my trigger words. Keyboard and mouse, controller, yeah. Depends on the game. Okay. Nick, what are you like? FPS? Are you keyboard and mouse and adventure role-playing games, controller? What makes that difference for you? You're fostering a positive community and you're doing well with this, and I can't wait to see how it grows. I'll donate money. I still, if you ever do memberships. Oh, sweet. Thanks so much, DB. Yeah. So the membership should be live now. Let me see. I want to come back here. Stop sharing my screen for just a moment. Okay, do y'all like that transition, or is it too much? I could take it out. I was like, oh, I want to play around with it. It's kind of fun. It's kind of neat, but it might be too much. Let me know. You guys are my guinea pigs today for this. Keyboard and mouse since 1984. Mouse reel. Nice, nice. So tell me what was the first game that really captured your imagination and like turned you into a gamer? Let me know, mouse reel. Jumping Lobster said, I'm definitely a controller guy. I'm left-handed and using a keyboard is kind of awkward. Interesting. Okay. Yeah. Controller since Atari 2600. That transition. Is that, you like it, DB? Okay, good. The controls on the RTS games like Anno 1800 on Xbox and Stellaris are incredible with the controller. Okay, cool. Yeah, Sofa Jockey, I'm the same way. I just feel like I have much more control, and I feel like I'm more immersed in the gameplay and in the controlling of what's going on if I have a controller. If I'm playing with keyboard and mouse, I feel like that I have to focus so much on what I'm doing with my hands. It takes me out of like, just enjoying the game. Just the way my brain works. Thank you so much, Waz. Hello. Thank you so much for the grats. Yeah, I'm going to have to play around with that Shingen, putting my controller on my PC. I haven't done that a lot. I tried that when Halo Infinite's multiplayer came out last year. Like, I'm pretty sure that like shadow dropped just all of a sudden. So I tried that, and it was fun. I was humbled very much because I was not as good as I was back in my Halo 2 or Halo 4 days. Hello, Styly. Good to see you, man. Just binge watching your vids. That's the first time I catch you live. What's up? And congrats on the 10K. Thank you so much. Great to be here. Okay, Mouse Reel. Was your first computer game was text-based RPG on console of Honeywell mini computer. Okay, yeah, I think you had mentioned that before. Colossal Cavern. That's awesome. Is that back in like the Sundog days that Todd Howard was talking about? Stuff like XCOM, Wastelander, Baldur's Gate, mouse and keyboard, stuff like Skyrim, Diablo 4, it's a controller. Yeah, I feel like that makes sense. Absolutely, I could probably get into that. Cool. Let's see. Let me get in here and I'll go ahead and see if I can just launch these. Okay. Okay, it's live. So, again, this is like a soft launch. I'm not going to do a big whole thing. So for Patreon and YouTube memberships are both live. Let's see. I'm going to find my page. So let's just see if this works. Here we go. I'll put this in the chat real quick. Control room. Here we go. This is what I was looking for earlier. Nice. All right. So patreon.com/StarfieldSignal. That should take you to my Patreon page. Let me know if it doesn't. But that's my Patreon page, and then I also have YouTube memberships, and so you can just go on the channel, on the channels page, and then click join, and that will bring up all the different options for you. I have 4 options to start with. I'm going to start super simple and super easy and super like cheap. There's just pretty much one big difference between YouTube memberships and Patreon. I'll start there first. If you're already on Patreon, I encourage you to, if you want to support, this is like for everyone who just wants to support, and this will be done in like 2 minutes. So we're going to talk about what's next for the channel after this, some videos I have coming up. So just stick around for just a minute. It's going to be super soft, super easy. But if you want to support the channel, first of all, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I cannot believe that I get to be a part of this thing that's happening and what you all are doing here. And it's thank you so much for letting me do this. It's really cool. If you want to support the channel financially, over and above, like you're watching and liking and commenting, you can do that through Patreon and through YouTube. If you are already on Patreon, I think that is the better option because that gives you ad-free viewing. I'm not able to do that on YouTube, just because of some of the, I hate to say restrictions, but because of kind of how they've modeled their memberships. So if you're already on Patreon, I encourage you to do that. It starts out really low at $1.99 a month. That gives you ad-free videos and a complete post archive, and also any kind of like commenting that you do through the Patreon videos. Like I'm going to give those priority just to go in and comment and interact with you there. I hope to I don't think there will be too many for me to handle that, but you'll always get a response from me as of now. In that way through those ad-free videos and everything, every video that I have is live on Patreon right now for members, and so it has the whole catalog there. So if you're just new to the channel or you're trying to catch up, then and you want to save 30 seconds of ad viewing a week, then head over there and you'll see Patreon. YouTube, kind of the perk that first 99-cent level gives you is just kind of it kind of highlights you in the comments, so I can also give you priority commenting there as well because I want to interact with everyone. That was one of the first things that I kind of got. Hey, DB Cooper pledge. Oh, very cool. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, DB. That's awesome. Giving that money back. You made good on your word. I appreciate that. And what was I saying? So YouTube memberships, those will get you priority. Commenting for that 99-cent, and then every level above and beyond that from YouTube to Patreon is exactly the same. Again, we'll be done with this in probably 60 seconds. The next one up is the basic tier. Patreon, you still get ad-free videos, but it also gives you exclusive posts, messages. I'll kind of keep you guys up to date on what I'm doing more, just communicate a little bit more with you. Same thing with YouTube memberships. You'll get access to these same community posts. It also gives you early access to my videos, and so as I get a little more structured and get a schedule going, you guys will get early access on both Patreon and YouTube memberships. That will be for both of you. And then for premium membership, has everything else we've talked about, plus you'll get your name listed in the credits of the videos that I'll put at the end of videos. So those are pretty basic tiers, pretty basic levels, but those are, I feel like those are a good starting point for us. So if you at all want to support the channel in a way, that's definitely, I feel like a good starting point. Let me know how you guys feel about those levels for people who want to support. Are those good levels? Does this seem, good to start out with, or would you make any suggestions? Feel free to let me know. I'm always open for suggestions and for critiques. That's how we get better. The last tier is a producer role, and that's about $20 a month, $19.99. And that's quite a bit more. That's for people who actually want to help build the channel in a way. And I'm not going to go into all the details there, but if you're curious, check out that join button on YouTube memberships or go to Patreon and check out the producer role. It's very interesting, probably different than what a lot of people do, but I am loving the collaboration part of what we get to do here on Starfield Signal. And I think that's what I want to talk about now. So enough of Patreon and YouTube membership. I'm going to look really quick at the chat just to see if anybody had any questions about that, but then we're going to move on. Let's see. Okay. So Darren. Oh, wow. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, DB, for doing the producer level. Very excited. I will talk with you soon about that. That is very, very exciting. All right. And Darren, really looking forward to all the deep dives and breakdowns, all the footage after the showcase, 3 months. That'll keep us going into launch. Absolutely. Okay. I've been open beta. Okay. Let's see. Played all three. Oh, okay. Oh, on D4. Okay, I didn't see what y'all are talking about. Okay, so you're planning to open beta on D4. Very neat. Okay. What are you most excited about in Starfield? Sorry, guys, I can't wait anymore. Who has the address of Bethesda? I'm going to fly there, break in, and steal the latest version of Starfield. I mean, this is a genius plan. Absolutely. Hey, DB could be your mastermind there. He's done it before. YouTube over Patreon. Okay. Hey, DB, yeah, send me an email if you made a mistake or something or want to switch. We'll get that worked out. Absolutely, no problem at all. Okay, no questions about that. Thank you everyone for hanging out through that. And yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to pop those up or send them to me afterwards. So what I want to talk about now, I kind of just want to celebrate what a lot of people are doing. And so a lot of you have reached out to me through email or through the comments or through Reddit or Discord. And you said like, hey, I absolutely love Starfield. I love the channel. I love what you're doing. I love this community. How can I help? And so, like I mentioned, there's a guy named Solomon. He is incredibly intelligent, super kind, awesome guy. He's been helping me build the Discord server. And so that's going to be a part of the memberships and just also a part for everyone. There's just going to be a private channel on there for members. But as we launch the game, there's a lot of cool things we can do there just as far as like helping each other out through different levels or different things we want to do, but we're not sure how. We're going to have shipbuilding channels on there, outpost building channels on there. So just a great way to kind of connect through the community day by day. Excuse me. And then a guy named Jeffrey, he kind of does what I do, but on like a way bigger level. He does a lot of video production, super intelligent, very, very good at what he does, making different videos and graphics and motion graphics. And so he is helping me kind of increase the production value of the channel. We're taking our time and we're working on some really cool stuff, some better intros and some better stingers and just all around kind of better graphics. They've been a bit kind of piecemealed together just because I've been trying to get content out so quickly. I haven't taken a lot of time to kind of dig down and build a lot of that production quality foundation that I would like to. So Jeffrey's helping me out with that. And then of course, people like Sebastian. There's a guy named Krim that I interviewed. I should have that interview. I think that's going to go live this upcoming Sunday. But he's a Starfield community member, and he did some really neat graphics, some graphic art to kind of explain some of the Starfield space travel. And so we're going to be going through that in that interview. Darren, thank you so much for the super chat. Really appreciate that, man. That's awesome. Good luck with the 10K. Amazingly. Let's see. Yeah, let's come back over real quick and see how we're doing. Still at 99.84. Awesome. We're getting there. We're getting there. And don't worry, I'm not going to stay on here. We got a little bit left. I'm not going to hold you all captive. You guys go work or go to sleep or wherever you are in life, in the world right now. Go just do what you got to do. I'm just here talking about video games. And so let me hold on. I don't want to miss anybody while I'm talking about this. So I mentioned Jeffrey, Solomon, Sebastian, Krim. Yeah, and even others of you are kind of helping me with just some of the big YouTuber problems that like I don't anticipate. Like Spudman emailed me on maybe it was Sunday morning or Saturday morning, I can't remember, but it said, hey, you're having some of those scams pop up, where people are like impersonating me with our logo and a username that's similar. And they're like, hey, you want a prize? Message me on this really sketchy service. And so they're just trying to help me navigate through all of that. And so I was able to block those accounts and try to take some precautions to protect you all from that. I know most of those, 99% of the time, those things are pretty obvious, and we're like, no, that's stupid. But if you're tired or if you're in a rush, I've been had by them before, like a phishing attempt where I'm in a rush, I don't think about it, and I'm like, oh, let me just take care of that real quick. So for future reference, I will never do any kind of giveaway on the channel, like through the comments. It will be, if I ever do anything, it will be very obvious, and it will be like in one of my videos, and I'm talking about it, and I'll make sure to do that in a way that is safe and secure and private for all of your information. So I will never just kind of reach out to you through the comments. So just be wary of that. I know most of you are probably, hey, we're good. We don't need any else about that. But I just wanted to mention that because I care about you guys. I don't want you to be caught off guard. But yeah, so that's one thing I'm excited about, just the collaboration of all these awesome creators in the Starfield community. If you know, I mentioned this in the last interview, but if you know of any other creators, whether you've seen them online or on a website or on Reddit or Discord, doing some really interesting stuff, whether it's their own fan-made fiction or stories or art, or programs like Sebastian made with Starfield Navigator, please send those my way. I would love to connect with them and just kind of highlight what they're doing, because I want to be a positive force for the Starfield community. I want people to be excited in a good way, and I feel like the more we can celebrate each other like that's the best way to do that. That's the best way to do that. Absolutely. Let's see. I'm going to scroll back up and just check my chat. I've been ranting a bit. I'm a bit surprised that Starfield is an Xbox Series exclusive. Yeah, being that the game has been in development for quite a long time. Yeah, it's never say never, right? I mean, who knows? It could eventually come to your refrigerator or your Alexa. That's the joke, because Skyrim has been ported to so many things. And I also have some of my own theories about the future of PlayStation. I know that's one of the big ones that people are getting hung up on. I don't see. I feel like Jim Ryan is using up a lot of his clout with what he's trying to do in the Microsoft Activision Blizzard, and whether that's good or bad, whether you agree with it or not, I feel like he's using up a lot of his clout that he's built up over the years, and so I'm not sure where he goes from this if he fails, right? And a lot of it may be public posturing. They may know exactly what he's doing, and that, hey, it was never meant to actually block it, but he just kind of wanted to do it for the shareholders' sake. I'm not sure. There's all kinds of corporate strategy involved in that, but I wouldn't be surprised if within the next 2 to 3 years he transitions out of that CEO role. I don't know. Am I crazy there? That's maybe a hot take. Who knows? Let's see what else we got here. Currently at work, Jankus, thank you so much for tuning in at work. Don't get in trouble, okay? Howdy, Wolf, in the southern parts of the states like me, or are you just saying that for solidarity's sake? Howdy. Let's see what else we got here. Right. Sony tried to negotiate an exclusive deal afterwards, which didn't work out. Deathloop, Ghostwire excluded. Then came Microsoft acquisition, sure. I just really thought it would be playable on Xbox One. I gotcha, Butterfly, right. So if you have an Xbox One, everything they've said indicates that you should be able to play Starfield on Xbox One through Game Pass, through their streaming, through xCloud. Right? And so if you have an Xbox One, don't just go out and buy an Xbox S or an Xbox Series X just because you think you need that. You should be able to stream Starfield through xCloud if you have the Game Pass level that requires. So look into that. Double, triple, quadruple check me, but I'm 95% sure that's correct from everything that they've indicated. They could change that, but yeah. Yes. Yeah, they've been pushing the envelope with these delays and to make it run well on next gen Xboxes. Wouldn't be surprised if they manage 60 FPS ray tracing somehow after all the work they've put in. Yeah, I mean, I from that last gameplay we saw, and it was on in the release date trailer, that the most recent one that was released on March 8th. It really seems like it's running at 60 FPS. That's hard to say confidently because we're looking at it from a camera, on a screen, from a camera, on another screen, way in the background. But it looked a lot better. I'll put it that. And I don't know quite how to articulate this, but 30 FPS to 30 FPS is not always the same, right? There's a good 30 FPS and there's a bad 30 FPS, just like there's a good 60 FPS and there's a bad 60 FPS. What I mean by that is, sure, technically, you could have the frames, right? But there's another level of that, and I'll call it responsiveness, just from how it feels to play. Because the Witcher 3 Next Gen Edition is a good example of this. So they had a mode on there that you could play in 30 FPS, and it was ray tracing and all this stuff, but it had horrible responsiveness. 30 FPS has never bothered me at all as a gamer. Played it fine on Xbox 360 and Xbox One and even on PlayStation 4, right? It's never bothered me as a gamer. I'm fine with it. I kind of live in the 24 FPS world just because of video and film. So it's never bothered me. But when it first released, they've probably patched it now, I think, but the 30 FPS was horrible in there because it wasn't very responsive. It was very laggy. It almost felt like the first time, if you played Red Dead Redemption 2, you remember the first time you booted that up and you were playing and you're like, oh gosh, what is happening? Why won't he move? Arthur moved like a dump truck in a mud pit or something. Like, it was just so slow and sluggish, and you eventually got used to it, but it was bad. Okay, I'm babbling now. Say, will you be buying Starfield, or are you going to play it through Game Pass? I think it depends on what I end up going with. If I do it through PC, I'll probably start out Game Pass. But I'm going to be playing this game. I mean, even if I didn't have a channel dedicated to it, I'm going to be playing this game for years. And so I'm unsure if Microsoft, I don't have a lot of confidence in Microsoft, and that's one of their problems, right? That they're trying to fix this year with the release of Starfield and Redfall and some other great games. They don't have a good track record of producing good quality games that I enjoy. I'm usually the kind of that single player type game, and I feel like with competitive multiplayers, they do a great job with. But so anyway, I don't want to Game Pass myself, $300 in the next few years if all I really wanted from them was, just a $70 game. So anyway, that's kind of what I'm thinking. I'm not sure yet. I'll probably start with Game Pass, but if they come up with some other good content, I may stay there. If not, I may just buy the game and cut it off at that $70. See, DB Cooper won't be playing it that way. Let's see. I've been feeling that the graphics in the last trailer had much better lighting than the 2022 trailer. Absolutely. Yeah, lighting was better. Animations were better, much smoother, much more responsive. Absolutely. It's interesting I mentioned the slowness of Red Dead Redemption because I couldn't get past that. I played it for 2 hours and it felt so stiff. It gave me anxiety. I'm with you. Yeah, I almost put it down. I kind of powered through because I forget when that came out, but I had some downtime, and so I was like, well, I'm not going to play anything else. So I kind of powered through, and eventually I got used to it. But I'm with you, Butterfly. It sucked for a bit. Let's see. Game Pass, Torn Raptor. I'm getting this on Steam. Call it a day. Sure. Gotcha. So let me talk now about what's kind of next for the channel. This week, I'm going to be focused, probably this week and next week. The content I'm focusing on is lore videos. I'm excited about this. This will be my first foray into lore videos. I am a huge VaatiVidya fan. If you like the Dark Souls series or Souls-like, Bloodborne, he's incredible. He's a legend. You probably know him. Of course you do if you're on YouTube. So I bring him up to say I am very much inspired by him. I'm probably not gonna talk. I'm probably not gonna talk in this kind of voice, like he's like whispers into the microphone. So it'll be my own spin on it. It'll be my own personality, my own take. But he definitely inspires me with kind of the depth that he goes into and the intelligent speculation and kind of carving out a space for him. So that I'm really interested to try it, and maybe it'll bounce, maybe it'll stick. But I'm excited for you guys to see those. Those lore videos are going to tackle the 3 major factions that we know of first. So the United Colonies, the Freestar Collective, and then the Crimson Fleet. Already have some great ideas for all of those. And very, very interesting. About every day, I learn something new. I'm like, oh, well, that changes this or that changes that. So it's gonna be fun. We're gonna try that. And then I have another interview to produce and publish probably on Sunday coming up. I feel like Sundays are a good day because people have for longer videos because people have a little bit more downtime, aren't trying to get in between work or getting ready and going to work or coming home and being with the family and going to bed. So Sundays are a good day for kind of those longer videos. So yeah, that's what's coming up next on the channel. And then of course I have a whole list, and you guys are awesome. Like even in some of the comments, y'all have made suggestions on things that you'd like to see post-launch or coming up to launch of the game. And so I have a long list of just everything I've seen. And so keep those ideas coming because I want to make content that you all love and that you all appreciate. And that's that's what's going to keep the channel healthy is content, right? Content is king. That's that's how the saying goes. Hey, we're at 9,985 subscribers, 15 to go till 10K proper. Very exciting. We catch up on chat here just a little bit. See, I won't be using the Game Pass as well. Any recommendations from where to get it? What does everybody said? Steam. Do you have a schedule for live streams? I always seem to catch you on the tail end of them. Hey, Seth, I'm so glad you made it. I don't. I'm working on trying to get a little bit better of a cadence and a schedule and some structure to this ship as we fly it. I like to use that analogy. But as I do, I will make that known and try to get that information out there. But I'm so glad you're here. Thanks for joining us. Was, I think they'll have plenty of time to optimize the game. The release date is like almost a year since they told us the game is playable from start to finish. Very true. Yeah, I feel like it's going to be good. I don't think there's going to be as much jank as people say as we may have seen from Fallout 4 or even Skyrim. And even a lot of those, like, a lot of it kind of gives it that charm. I know a lot of people say that's crazy that Bethesda fans like glitches and bugs, but I mean, some of them are really hilarious. And so it's, it's kind of like a wink to the player, right? Like, hey, I know you're here. We know our game isn't perfect, right? It's kind of that humility. Not that they should leave game-breaking bugs in there or quest-breaking bugs in there or things that are going to, delete your saves or delete your items. Of course not. Of course not. But the funny things like, I think in Skyrim, there was a bee, a little tiny bee that would like get in the path of the cart in the opening scene where they're taking you to have your head chopped off. And if the cart ran into that bee, it would like flip over or something because of the physics attached to that bee. Like that is absolutely hilarious, and it didn't happen all the time. So I would love for them to put something like that in the game. Or the swing. Which game had the swings that were just crazy? Was it one of the GTAs? Grand Theft Auto 4, 3 or 4? 4. It would have been 4, I think. Anyway, stuff like that I think is hilarious. All right. Coming back here. Yeah. Optimize. Using Game Pass Ultimate, but I will buy Starfield on Steam. Yeah, so whoever asked for like where, to buy the game from if you don't do Game Pass, of course, like the Microsoft Store, the Xbox Store on your Xbox or on your PC, going to be able to buy it from Steam. Probably you'll be able to buy it from GOG, I would imagine. And then probably, retail box stores, Walmart, Target, GameStop, Best Buy, all of those things, whatever you have in your country that's similar to that. But for digital releases, I think there will be a few different options. Let's see, coming back here, I know this Zhao said, that This question is strange because we are in a Starfield channel, but do you guys think that Baldur's Gate 3 has the potential to be a better RPG than Starfield? I don't know much about it. Anybody in the chat know much about that? I think my brother plays. Baldur's Gate 3, because it's not officially out yet, right? It's like an alpha or beta or pre-release. I forget what they call it, but I don't think everything's out yet. But I think that's going to definitely be a more hardcore RPG, if you could use that terminology. It's going to be a bit more kind of grounded, I think, and maybe not mess around with some of the more modern tropes that the RPGs have been distracted by, maybe. Seth, hey, welcome to Premium. So excited to have you here as a member on the channel. Thank you so much. Yeah, that's awesome. Mr. Twilight Blade just subscribed. Thank you, Mr. Twilight. Thanks for jumping on, helping contribute to our 10K goal. Very exciting. Still got about 50 of you here on the chat. We've been doing this for about an hour and a half now since here. But going back to your question, Jao, I don't know about Baldur's Gate 3. I haven't looked into it much. Did you play Fallout 3 or 4 New Vegas? Did you like them? How did you become interested in Starfield? Good question, Butterfly. So I definitely played through Fallout 3's main campaign. Fallout 4, I probably played maybe a total of like 10 to 20 hours of. Never played New Vegas, which I'm kind of sad about because I keep hearing that was one of the best ones as far as like the story and the RPG mechanics in it. And that's really my vibe. I honestly don't enjoy the post-apocalyptic theme. And I think that's the main thing that kind of bumps me up against Fallout. They seem like great games, great communities. It's just not for me. Now, if they made I would love for, in another 10 or 15 or 20 years, after Bethesda does Starfield and Elder Scrolls and their next Fallout, and then maybe another Starfield, if they got into like Japanese or like samurai themed games, I think that would be great. So one of my favorite games ever is Jade Empire. I don't want Bethesda, no, excuse me, I don't want BioWare to make another game until they get their crap figured out. Anthem, I think, really, really hurt them in a lot of different ways. Hurt their culture, hurt their credibility, their reputation. But once they get their stuff together, I want them to make another awesome Mass Effect game, and then I want them to come back to Jade Empire. I think with the technology we have now, using the different engines we have, using the different RPG, different stories, elements that they can go to. It's now in the 2020s. That game came out in before 2010, I think. And so just the flexibility they have now with storytelling and RPG mechanics and gameplay mechanics that they didn't have back then, it was a very ambitious game. I think they could nail a Jade Empire 2 or a remake or something like that. So I would absolutely love that. DB, you're a Jade Empire guy too. Awesome. Let's see. Thank you, Marketing Mark, for the Todd Howard jacket comment. Yes, playing New Vegas on Xbox X now, Series X. Yeah, and so let's see. New Vegas was better than 4. I never played 3. Where you based out of? Trying to pinpoint the accent. It's I'm in the South. I'm in the South of the U.S. I got rid of it a little bit in college and then moved back home for a little bit. And man, it just came right back like riding a bike. And when I'm around my dad, especially, boy, it really comes out pretty thick. So I'm trying to soothe it away a little bit. Yeah, I'm from the South. Well, I'll be dead by then, bro. Oh, I think you're right, Mr. Tiddlewinks. Love your name, by the way. I'm sad that, hey, maybe I'll be retired by then, and I will have all the time in the world to play Jade Empire. It's 50-50, not sure about de novo limits. Oh, right. Yeah. Ghost of Tsushima. Yes, was. Oh, Ghost was such a great game. And that, I think that goes to show, I mean, BioWare should have jumped. They should have jumped. This is quickly becoming a Jade Empire stream. I'm sorry. But BioWare, EA. Oh, I'm getting angry thinking about them. I wish they would leave BioWare. I wish they would sell BioWare to either PlayStation or Xbox or someone that will let them be who they are and do what they do, and they will make some freaking awesome games. But yes, when Ghost came out, or actually no, it was Sekiro, right? Or Sekiro. When that came out, when BioWare heard that FromSoft was making a Japanese-themed samurai game, they should have quit everything they were working on and started making a Jade Empire 2. Because when FromSoft makes a game, it always wins. Whether it's, I don't mean like Game of the Year or anything, but it always hits, it always wins, it's always good, it always creates a subculture around that. They could have taken that. Let's see, who just subscribed? I missed it. Let's see. Shingen Ichina. Oh, you pledged. Okay, awesome. On Patreon. Thank you so much for pledging on the Patreon. You're a producer, man. We're gonna build this thing and we're gonna fly it. It's gonna be great. All right. Getting distracted. So anyway, yes, they should have jumped on Jade Empire. It could have been so good. And then Ghost came out. Ghost of Tsushima. It was so good, and that was, you think of like the action mechanics and the story. And it was a great story. Who developed that? I'm so sorry. I can't remember them right now. Who developed Ghost of Tsushima? They did a fantastic job with the story. Not an RPG, right? Action adventure. But think about if BioWare could have made something like that and put in their signature RPG story, relationships, companions. I mean, that would have, I would play that game today. I would buy any system it was on. It would be so great. Sucker Punch. Yes, thank you, DB. Absolutely. Oh, Zhao. Yeah, I know. Man, I'm sorry. I did not mean to I got very excited about that. EA and BioWare. Oh man. And I got excited about the pledges too. Thank you guys. Thank you so much. So let's see here. Let me come back up here. So make sure I didn't miss anybody. Seth became a member. Thank you, Seth. Mr. Twilight Blade, subscribe. Thank you. Hollow Sully, subscribe. Thank you, Hollow Sully. And Darren, give me a super chat. Thank you. DB became a member. Awesome. And we got a few followers on Twitch. So very cool. Very cool. At Style, I did really enjoyed it. I missed those tight 10 to 12 hour single player games. Yes. See, Stiley said, Shane, there isn't a sequel. Are you talking about Guardians? Okay, of the Galaxy. I heard so many good things about that. I tried to play it. It came out, I think it was on PS Plus. So I mostly play PlayStation right now. I think it was on PS Plus, and I tried to play it, but it was like in the middle of a busy season, and then I started this, so I never got past maybe like the second mission. And so does the story ramp up after the second mission? I feel like it's about to. Am I right there? It's like I just got back to Nova Corps maybe, and like it's suspiciously empty. Is it about to hit there at that point in the story? Okay, so I forgot what I was talking about. I was talking about what's next for the channel, and talked about lore videos. Then I have a bunch of stuff planned. I have a list of probably 30 or 40 videos that I want to make once the game launches, and so I already have those ideas. What I would actually story in that game's crazy. Okay, so the 50 or so viewers that are on here now, and I don't want to hold you guys hostage on here for too much longer. I know I'm not holding you hostage, but I'm just trying to be polite. What I would love is if you have a creator that you like and that you think makes really good content, like when a game comes out, for maybe like Hogwarts Legacy or God of War, or this Spider-Man game, like the single player games that are kind of story driven or RPG driven, that are kind of will be similar to Starfield as far as like making content for. Let me know who those are and who you like, why you like them. And I'm not necessarily looking for people to emulate. I'm just looking for a little inspiration, kind of see, okay, what works, what hits, what doesn't, what bounces, because I want to make content that's good for you all and also fun for me. And, so far it's been mostly speculation, and I feel like that's a different kind of muscle, or that's a little bit different kind of a skill as opposed to like actually playing a game and making the lore videos or making the tips videos or the guide videos. I feel like that's a little bit of a different skill and a little bit of a different muscle. And so I don't want to go into it just expecting, like, oh, I'm going to keep doing the same thing, and then maybe get overwhelmed by the vastness of Starfield that I'm like, I have no idea where to start. And so it would be great if I knew kind of you all who are already my community, what do you like? And I may even, for like our Patreons and our YouTube members, I plan to actually do kind of some practice videos like that. I just rented Hogwarts Legacy from Gamefly. That should be here any day now. And so I'm going to make a few videos about Hogwarts Legacy as if it just released and there aren't already a million videos out about it, but kind of some tips and tricks videos, some story videos, maybe some walkthroughs, just to kind of work that muscle, just to get used to, like, okay, what's the cadence here? What's helpful, what's not. And so that's another thing you can look forward to as a Patreon or a YouTube member. Let me come back to the chat here. See, since Starfield is set in the future, I wonder if there is a TV show that you can sit and watch, maybe a new show that highlight the main quest because of the decision you make. Oh, that would be interesting, Race. That's really cool. Yeah. Well, like was it Fallout 3? Again, I'm not a Fallout guy. Was it Fallout 3 that had the radio, or both of them, Fallout 3 and 4? They had the radio that you could play and have music, or the DJ on, talking to news. That would be really cool. Yes. Yeah, Butterfly, I did. Oh, okay, Ray's already said that, like the radio station of Fallout. Sorry, should have read that before that. We can hit the X whenever we need to roll. Cool, man. Cool, Ariana. Did you play The Witcher 3, Butterfly? Yes, yeah, Witcher 3. Absolutely love The Witcher 3. One of the best RPGs ever. Absolutely. I like the fact that your videos feel official, if that means anything. Thank you. I appreciate that. I definitely try to have like a deep sense of credibility and trust, and I don't want to my mind just went blank with words. I don't want to betray that trust with kind of some with a bunch of clickbaity stuff or a bunch of subpar videos. I really want to keep increasing the production quality and the content quality of our videos. Let's see. Stally said, "You bet I'm going to explore all 1,000 planets." LOL. One of the things that's cool about this isn't really a commercial. I'm just excited about it. But one of the cool things about, I think it's in the producer membership level of the Patreon and the YouTube memberships, is I'm giving you priority gameplay features there. And so eventually I'm going to ask you all, the community, to like, hey, I'm planning a video to do, like, okay, let's do, the sunsets on all 1,000 planets, or something crazy or like really ambitious like that. And so I'm going to need help with footage and gameplay video. And so eventually I'm going to be asking for you guys to send things in. And so those producers will kind of get, priority for those. So I'm excited about that. I think that's going to be really neat. Woody Eagle, what do you have to say? Hope you had a good night, man. Rented, you can still do that. Only online through the internet. I don't have anywhere in my town to rent video games. Redbox used to do it, and I don't know if they don't do that everywhere, but they do not do that now in my town. So there's nowhere else I can rent video games other than Gamefly, or if I wanted to drive 30 or 40 minutes or something like that. Yeah. And honestly, I thought GameFly, this isn't a commercial for them, but I didn't realize they were still a thing. Like, like I don't know when they were started, but I heard a lot about them, like maybe back in like the 2010s, around 2015, something like that. Had no idea they were still a big thing. And evidently they're doing great. They're doing fine, because there are a lot of people like me who don't want to just, buy a digital game for $70, but they want to just rent one every now and then and play through. So yeah, you can still do that. Hogwarts is a massive game. Yeah, I'm definitely not gonna get through it, but I'm excited for it. 4 had the DJ. You can fix his voice. Okay, interesting. Like give him different like pre-recorded voices or alter it in some way. That's interesting. For Bethesda content, I would have a look at CamelWorks. I feel like I've seen them. Okay, thank you for that. I'm going to note that somewhere. And you don't want to baffle us with BS. Yes. No, I don't. Sounds amazing. Daniel, not on YouTube. What is that in reference to? I missed something there. Sorry. Zhao, this would be incredible. Seth, priority. Does this mean non-producers can also send in gameplay for things? Yes, absolutely. Yes, so everybody, this isn't even, exclusive to members or Patreons, but every now and then I'll send out kind of calls for, hey, these are some things I'm wanting to make videos about. If you have anything like this, send me your gameplay footage, or even if just something cool happens, send it in to me, and we'll see if we can use it. But right, that producer level, that gets priority. So if I get 20 admissions and hey, I'm really only needing like 3 or 4, then I'm looking at the producers first to feature them. Good question, Seth. You're going to play Stalker 2. Sven said, I have no idea what it is. The only thing I know about it is that it's maybe post-apocalyptic as well, which I said I didn't really get into earlier. I also tried Metro a little bit. I thought that was a really tight first-person shooter, but again, just the whole post-apocalyptic thing, I couldn't stick with it. So in my mind, Stalker 2 is a little bit like Metro, but it's probably not, because I don't know what I'm talking about. So I probably won't play it. Let me know if I'm wrong there. Letrodon said, I'm going to download Starfield so I can play on my Xbox and PC. Very cool. CamWorks production quality is next level. Okay, awesome. I definitely want to check them out then. Daniel said, Patreon versus YouTube. Sorry. Gotcha. Like what... What's your question there, Daniel? So like the difference between like my specific offerings there as far as memberships go. Check out that link. I'll throw it up here again for you. Patreon.com/Starfield Signal. Sven said I'm not wrong about it. Gotcha. And just check those out. Definitely not hard selling that right now, but I feel like I got some good offerings there to kind of start out with. So I'm excited about those. So I'd love for you to check them out. Thank you for asking. Seth said, wonder if Game Pass will be available on GeForce Now. I saw that Microsoft games will be coming to this service, so maybe Game Pass will too. Might check that out on Starfield PC. Check out Starfield on PC. Sorry, got distracted. Yeah, I mean, I feel like those deals that were made, from what I read of them and what I saw of them, I mean, that's what we can expect. All Xbox first-party games will be available on GeForce Now. Now, that doesn't mean that that doesn't necessarily mean that you will be able to play via your Game Pass subscription on GeForce Now. But it means that those games will be accessible on that platform. Could mean that I might have somebody knocking at my door real quick. Sorry about that. So that could mean that, the you have to buy, maybe they're $75 on Game Force or GeForce Now. But that would be really awesome if they could connect with Game Pass. That way you just have your subscription, multiple places you can play. It makes it easy. Absolutely. Let's see. Are you going to review mods once they are out? Mod reviews would be also great. Yeah, I think so. I've been doing a lot of research, and I think that's where I came across CamelWorks. I've been doing a lot of research on Skyrim and Fallout creators and like what they're still doing, because I want to make this thing last, right? I want to build this thing, Starfield Signal. I want to grow it. I want to make sure it's built strong, that it's built to last, and that it's built for community. I love the phrase, you can go faster alone, but you can go farther together. And so I want to go far with you all. I want to make this thing last. I think Starfield is going to be a great game for the next decade. And so I think mods are definitely a big part of the lifespan of the game. It's going to be a big part of the lifespan of this community as well. And as I've already showed interest, doing these community features already with Sebastian and with Starfield Navigator and the interview that we'll have up this upcoming Sunday. I love that. Like, I got a rush out of talking with these brilliant people, talking about Starfield, talking about something fun that brings us all joy. And I love the spirit of collaboration. I love connecting with other people and having that human connection. That this, it's not just different people typing letters and words on a forum somewhere out in the internet. These are actual people with hopes and dreams and skills and interest and questions. And so all of that really interests me. And so that's going to be a big part of our channel is the people side and the community side of Starfield. I'm excited about that. Very cool. If it doesn't come to GeForce Now, it should be on Game Pass PC. Right. Yeah, good point, Woody Eagle. Absolutely. And I think that's going to be the biggest value. Like if you're a gamer and you're always, you go from one game to the next and you're always playing something, I feel like Game Pass PC, if you're a PC player, is, man, that's hard to beat. It's hard to beat. Absolutely. Are you going to play The Last Case of Benedict Fox? Whoa, I have no idea what that is. It's a Metroidvania with some vibes of Lovecraft's monsters like Cthulhu. Now that's interesting. That's interesting. Excuse me. I haven't heard a thing about it, but this will take us back as well. Okay, so how many people on here know of what was it called? Eternal Darkness. Eternal Darkness. Who all here knows about that game? And who all played it? That was one of my favorite games growing up. And that's how I got into Lovecraft. So I kind of researched and figured that out. I've never read any of his books. Listened to a few podcasts that kind of explored his themes and maybe even had some excerpts from some of his books. But and then of course Bloodborne, right? Bloodborne is heavily influenced by Lovecraft. Very intriguing. I love is it cosmic horror? Is that kind of the term that people use to categorize his works? Cosmic horror. Very interesting. So, Zhao, I may check that out if it's on Game Pass or if it's on PS Plus or something there, or maybe I'll rent it from GameFly. That could be very cool. DB, the production value for the transition. I'm trying, man. I'm trying to bump it up. Absolutely. Let's see. Have you ever mentioned what you think happened to Earth in Starfield? Would you be able to visit it? Probably not everywhere, but how do you write it out of the story without lazy story writing? I'm going to try, just out of respect. Twin Verge? Is it German or Icelandic? I am way out of my element here. Obviously, please help me with your name. How could you put a phonetic spelling in the comments? Because that's a great question, and I apologize for butchering it. I think that's a great question, and a question I've honestly thought about a lot. What happened to Earth? And I think Bethesda knows that's a hot question, right? And so Will Shen said that we will go to Mars early in the Again, kind of spoiler warnings. If you're sensitive to spoilers, Will Shen, in an interview that we've had for months, Will Shen said that we will go to Mars and get in contact with the question of what happened to Earth. I'm pretty sure that's what he said verbatim. So that's an interesting way to say it. So, I hope it's something a bit more complex than just, well, we discovered how to better space travel, and so we just left. That doesn't really make sense. Or that would be lazy writing. Or if it was just like we ran out of food or we ran out of resources, and so we just left. Even if, because you think about naturally, with global warming, some very real things that we're struggling with, climate change, resources, population, all very big issues that, we're going to have to get a handle on for sure. I think with their NASA punk, like kind of grounded in reality themes, they're probably going to hit on some of that. And I would love to see some complexity there and not just like, this happened, so we just left. But I'm with you. I feel like Bethesda does pretty good in the writing part most of the time. So I expect to have some good story elements there. Crazy to think also there may be a Starfield 2 someday. Yeah, do you guys think this is going to be kind of Bethesda's first foray into what might be considered like it wouldn't be their first foray. 76, a live service single-player game. Does that even make sense? I'm trying to think, like, would they keep just updating Starfield? Maybe like Destiny 2? I don't know. They would probably just come out with a proper sequel because they can make a lot more money doing that, right? Who knows? I mean, Todd Howard may be even dead and gone by the time they get to Starfield 2, is if they go at their current pace. Let's see. No problems. It's Afrikaans. Okay, thank you. Phonetic Taindweer, like you're clearing your throat. Key. Taindweerki. Oh, I'm sorry. Hey, thank you for doing that. I really appreciate you here on the channel. I may try to Google that and see if it'll help me with the pronunciation, because if I see you in the chat again, I would love to honor you in that way. Thank you for your patience with me. DB said, I live in LA and it snowed here in some areas a few weeks ago. Climate change is definitely happening. Oh, that's crazy. DB, my younger brother and I were in LA for the Game Awards in December, and man, we had a blast. Ate some really good food. I was there last summer as well to film a wedding, and and had a blast. Where was I? Up in the Palisades? Is that a place? Am I thinking of that right? It was kind of near the coast, not quite up to Malibu, but kind of in between LA and Malibu, and it was beautiful, man. Absolutely loved it there. I bet it's a nice place to live. Yep, cool. Jazz rock, meteor strike. Yeah, I feel like that might make sense as well. I even thought jazz rock. Like, what if the lore of Starfield, maybe not the story, like as far as when you pick up on gameplay, but as far as like when, what's the inciting incident that kind of made Starfield, become a story that gave them the technology to reach the other stars and all of that. Maybe it was a meteor strike, and then of course there was lots of damage, there's lots of destruction, but they found one of these artifacts in some of the rubble and some of the destruction from the meteors, and that's what gave them the ability to go out to other planets. I think that would be really cool. Yeah, very cool. Just got in a bit late. Canyon, so great to see you. Congrats and well deserved. Thank you so much. It's been a great journey. Let's see, where are we at now? Subscriber count 9986, I still believe. We're creeping up there. I promise I'm not just like hanging out here until we get to 10,000 proper, but I'm having a good time chatting with you all. So thanks. This is fun. Let's see, close enough. Thanks. Can I call you T for now? Can I call you T? It means garden gnome. Are you serious? Is that what your name means? That's awesome. Ariana said, I don't like forced online play. Yeah, me too. Once the servers go down, the game ends, no matter if you own the game or not. Right, right. And that's what a lot of people have been concerned about for Redfall, right? Because it was revealed maybe a few weeks ago that it was going to be online only. Have they changed that, or have they walked back on that since? I haven't kept up with the news, but I know that was a big point of concern for Redfall. Any game that has DRM means you don't own the game, you just own the right to play it. Yeah. Yeah, I don't get too upset at that stuff just because like in theory, like you're exactly right, like the whole ownership versus yeah, I get all that. But in practicality, other than maybe a handful of games, which, game preservation is really important. I don't, how many of your games from 10 years ago or 15 years ago do you go back and play, right? Just a handful. Every now and then I get an itch to play Super Mario RPG. Like that's a blast from the past, but I freaking love that game. It's so fun, and I love the story in it. I love that you can play as Bowser and Geno and Mallow and all those crazy characters. And that I'm glad that like that doesn't have to be online only. But like for 98% of games, I don't get too upset about it, but I get the argument of why that's a bad thing for sure. 10K, just a few more. We're almost there. Let's see. Yep. Well, I don't think I have anything else left to say right now. I would have loved for us to hit 10K on the stream, but I totally get it. I may get back on later if it kind of stalls out, and maybe after everyone gets off of work tonight in the States, I may come back on. Well, I don't know if I'll be able to do that, but at some point we will get back on and celebrate together. Let's see what else we got here. Is Deathloop a game that is always on too? I'm not sure. Does anybody know about Deathloop? Is that always online? Jazzrock said, the reason I think something like a meteor strike, we're only 300 years in the future, therefore something absolutely catastrophic and complete would have to happen more than simply a nuke. Sure, yeah. Yeah, I agree. The whole, just if this isn't like some crazy distant future, right? Like Star Wars or whatever. This is like, and that's like Bethesda's whole point. It's like they want people to be able to see like how we could get there. Like it would make sense. Like, okay, these are the steps we would take to get to this technology or to know these things. So I find that very fascinating as well. And it does kind of ground you and, put some, I hate to use restrictions, but like limitations on the storytelling there. But I think within those limitations and within those structures you give yourself within that time frame, that almost kind of forces you and challenges you to dig a little deeper, so you don't come up with that lazy writing like we mentioned earlier. Thanks, Woody Eagle. Appreciate you stopping by, man. As always, that's my brother. Love you, bro. For everyone else, I'll keep the chat up for just a little bit. Again, kind of messing with this new software, kind of found some ways to do all this. Thank you to all of the people who became a subscriber here on the stream. I really appreciate that. I hope that we can honor your time as a subscriber in this community. I think you're going to have a lot of fun. We're all really positive and excited here. We got a lot of great content coming, so I think you are going to be excited for that. Make sure to turn on the notifications, obviously, and like the stream, if you will. This will probably go out to some other people later today. Let's see, for everyone else who either did a super chat or became a YouTube member or a Patreon member or became a Twitch follower, it's very, very cool. I'm very humbled, very appreciative of you all. We have a really good future ahead of us. I'm very excited about what we're building. Thank you for being a part of it. I'm going to keep the chat open, and you guys have a great rest of your day, and I will see you soon. Thank you again for 10K. We just got a couple more. Very exciting. All right. Have a great day, everyone. I'll leave the chat open for you. Have fun, and I'll see you soon.